Here's your First Warn weather forecast first. Sponsored by the Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Well, it has been quite a messy Monday afternoon with some heavier snow coming down earlier today. The heaviest of the snow lifting to the north, but still some light to moderate snow showers in a couple of spots. But we do have to watch that potential for it mixing in with some drizzle and even freezing drizzle here as a bit of drier air works in. Even had some thunder snow reported over parts of DeKalb County. The wind has been whipping around that snow, sustained winds from the east, 15 up to 20 miles per hour, but gusting close to 30. Both the wind and the snow showers begin to end tonight, but still the impacts will be felt here through this evening, highlighting those and having some of those snow totals coming up in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
An early morning house fire leaves one person hurt and a dozen pets without a home. Firefighters say a lack of manpower and resources made it tough to put the blaze out.
We often talk about the health benefits of being vaccinated, but I remind people of the social benefits.
It's been 1 year since COVID-19 hit Winnebago County. Health officials reflect on the lives lost and the progress made over the last 365 days.
Cologne is the UPS hub for Europe.
That's just one thing a German airport has in common with Rockford's, and a new partnership could mean dozens of state-line jobs. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Just when you thought spring had sprung, another bout of winter weather hits the state line. Candice warned us about this days ago.
Yeah, so Candice, is the worst of it behind us now?
It is. You know, we had some really heavy snow come down earlier today, late morning, early afternoon, where the visibility dropped under a quarter of a mile, made it really hard to see just the car in front of you earlier today. Good news, a lot of that heavier snow now moving up to the north. Bad news, we are still dealing with some of those snow showers and even mixing in at times. We've got some drizzle and some freezing drizzle. You can actually see that heavy snow band that worked in here earlier today lifting up to the north. That's where we had snowfall rates of at least an inch per hour. Now, we didn't see high snowfall totals because that snow has been very wet, heavy and very slushy, but visibility dropped rather quickly once we got underneath those heavier snow bands, and it's been very slushy, so the roads have been less than ideal out there for much of the afternoon. Now you see that snow is a little bit more light because we've actually had some dry air work in. The downfall to that, however, is we've gotten rid of what we need to really allow those snow crystals to form. So now what we're seeing is a little bit more of drizzle and some freezing drizzle and even some snow pellets kind of mixing in with those leftover snow showers. Visibility improving in a couple of spots, but dropping a bit where we've got a little bit more of that lighter snow coming down. So let's plan this out through the rest of the evening because we're not out of the woods yet. Notice as we go through this evening, that pink you see, that's some of that drizzle and freezing drizzle and even sleet mixing in. Stop Futurecast at 10 o'clock tonight and still dealing with that here as we go through this evening. That'll lift up to the north after about midnight, so things will be calming down, but still some residual slick spots here as we head through the overnight and then into tomorrow morning. And you're also going to have to watch for some fog. Now, we're not done yet with those systems, guys. We've got another one midweek. I'll have more on that coming up in the full forecast here a little later.
What a mess in the meantime. Candice, thanks.
Yeah, the storm set the stage for several car accidents and traffic jams. Dylan Srocky's been tracking the conditions.
He is live in Rockford. Dylan, how are the roads right now?
Well, Eric, not great. I've been driving around all afternoon. Definitely super slushy out here on the roads. If you're going out, slow down. Definitely slow down. Now, Candice said you just heard her say it's not coming down as hard as it is earlier. Still a little bit coming down right here, right now, but the roads are an absolute mess. Now, again, take it slow. It took me just 10 minutes longer than it normally does just to get out here right near the station. So if you're going out, take it slow. Now, people I talked to out shoveling, some were excited saying, you know, they had missed the snow for that little period there. Some saying, you know, this is not welcome. So wherever you fall on the spectrum, just make sure that if you are driving, take it slow. Roads are still slushy, still bad. Now the city does have salting trucks out right now, but it hasn't helped too much yet. So just take it slow out there. Eric, Mimi, back to you.
Dylan, thanks. Family members say a missing Byron man's body has been recovered in the Rock River. According to a Facebook post, Brandon Cuddy was found near Oppold Marina in Sterling. The Whiteside County Sheriff's Office and Sterling Fire Departments responded to the call Saturday. Cuddy's been missing for months. His family says no one's seen the 27-year-old since December 26th when he left Fozzie's Bar and Grill in Loves Park. Police found his car near the Rock River in January. Investigators have not officially confirmed the identity of the body. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow.
A Rockford man is charged with burglary after police say he fell asleep in the car he was robbing. It happened this morning around 8 on Glendale Avenue. Investigators say the homeowner found a man in her car, which was parked outside the home. Police say Fred Cantu is also responsible for 2 additional car burglaries, one on Glendale Avenue and another on Wind Point Drive. The 23-year-old is charged with criminal trespass to a vehicle and burglary. He is being held in the Winnebago County Jail. One person is recovering after an early morning house fire in Winnebago County.
This is what the scene looked like as flames engulfed the home. Michelle Rave joins us with more on the blaze. Michelle, fire officials say several dogs were rescued as well.
Yeah, that's right. Firefighters were certainly in for a surprise when they rescued a dozen dogs from the home. I spoke with the Winburn fire chief, who says he's glad everyone made it out safely. This was a scene at a home on West State Road around 4:30 in the morning in Winnebago. Flames engulfed the house. Several hours later, this was all that was left. Fire officials tell us one person was home at the time. They were taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. But Winburn Fire Chief Dave Loria said another discovery was made.
Confounding factor was there were multiple dogs at the residence. We made contact with it. Some of the guys were able to secure a couple of dogs. We secured them in a couple of vehicles till animal control was able to get out. We reached out to Winnebago County Animal Services, who declined an in-person interview, but tell us 11 female dogs were rescued and 1 male. They are currently receiving veterinary care. 2 of the dogs had some concerns about potential life-threatening injuries just from smoke inhalation. They were not in a good position during the fire, and they're fairly stressed when we finally got them out. Crews were there for over 5 hours, bracing the elements. We ourselves were a little stressed for manpower and water and just trying to get everything together. The fire eventually consumed the house, though, and despite our efforts. Winnebago County Animal Services are investigating. We will keep you updated on the condition of the dogs once more information is available. Mimi.
All right, thanks, Michelle. On this day 1 year ago, life as we knew it changed. March 15th, 2020, health officials confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in Winnebago County. That patient was treated at Mercy Health Rockton. That same day, Governor J.B. Pritzker ordered shutdowns of bars and restaurants by end of business the following day. Churches and other places of worship closed their doors and began streaming services. And personal protective equipment, or PPE, became a household staple. Now, a year later, nearly 27,000 Winnebago County residents have had the virus. 447 people have died. Restaurants and businesses are back open with capacity limits. Masks remain on faces and social distancing continues to be practiced. 3 COVID vaccines are becoming increasingly available to the American public. Winnebago County Health Department Director says about 11% of residents are fully vaccinated to date.
With vaccination comes, we call the privilege of membership in the vaccination club. You can gather indoors with fully vaccinated people without wearing your mask. You can gather indoors with unvaccinated people from one other household without mask unless one of them is high risk.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from a local doctor who discusses their experience on the front lines and how life has changed moving forward.
Chicago Rockford International Airport makes more connections around the world. RFD entered a new partnership with Cologne Bonn Airport. The Germany-based cargo service airport aims to make handling service more efficient while speeding up delivery times. The airport cooperation agreement between those airports will expand each facility's reach, develop cutting-edge commerce cargo initiatives, and create jobs. RFD's cargo director tells us just one flight a day could mean 30 to 50 employees added.
That's really quite substantial. Those employees would be employees that are working on the computers on the inside, those that are loading the cargo and unloading the cargo off the pallets, and those that load and unload the airplanes.
Germany is Illinois' third largest export partner. It's the biggest in Europe. President Biden speaks out after the passing of the American Rescue Plan.
After the break, the commander-in-chief's message for Americans and how Republican opposition remains swift.
And a new study finds more Illinois moms are leaving the workforce. Coming up tonight at 6, why some say being home with family comes down to a money issue.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
President Biden continues his sales pitch to the country on the nearly $2 trillion COVID relief package.
Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer has more on the president's message and why Republicans remain skeptical as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. With the American Rescue Plan signed and checks already showing up in bank accounts, President Biden says the focus now is on making sure the rollout is fair and fast.
Help is here and hope is here.
President Joe Biden is now working on putting his COVID-19 relief package into action.
It's one thing to pass a historic piece of legislation like the American Rescue Plan, and it's quite another to implement it.
$1,400 direct payments began hitting bank accounts within 24 hours of the bill being signed into law. The president says it's going to take oversight to make sure the money can
go out quickly and directly to the American people where they belong.
This week, the administration is crossing the country to spread the word of the benefits of the relief package. On Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris headed to Las Vegas and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to a UPS site in Maryland.
This isn't just a fire and forget piece of legislation.
Buttigieg says delivery drivers and the $160 billion set aside for vaccination distribution are helping get more shots in the arms of Americans. Republicans remain skeptical.
If everybody is vaccinated by June, then it's clearly not related to COVID.
Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy and other GOP lawmakers say only about 10% of the money in the package is going to COVID relief.
It's related to kind of helping a blue state.
President Biden is setting out to win support from those doubting the importance of the package. He'll be in Pennsylvania tomorrow. It's the first stop on his Help Is Here tour. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Well, you know, it just doesn't seem fair. After the warmth we had for the first half of the month, temperatures in the 60s as late as Saturday. We are now dealing with a couple inches of very slushy and heavy snow. The good news, the heaviest of that snow has now pulled up to the north, but we are still dealing with some lighter snow. But mixed in with that, we've had some snow pellets, even some drizzle, and some freezing drizzle we may have to be a little concerned with over the next couple of hours as a bit more dry air begins to work in. That's really what cut off a lot of that heavy snow, as you see that now pulling well to the north into Wisconsin. But underneath that heavy snow band, we actually had snowfall rates of an inch or so per hour, which is why we were able to see that accumulate so quickly on the roadways, turning them quite slushy very quickly and making it very slick out there. Still some slick conditions, and if we see that freezing drizzle, that is also going to be concerning, kind of keep things a little more on the slick side as we go through this evening. But just a massive area of low pressure, that counterclockwise spin of that low in the mid levels of the atmosphere. We're looking at our water vapor imagery, and you can see all that moisture by the blue being pushed a little bit further to the north. That drier air wrapping in, kind of eating away at some of that snow, but again, allowing for some of the freezing drizzle to kind of mix in. As far as some of the snowfall reports we've received so far, really anywhere from about 1.5 inches up to 3 inches. Just got a report of 3.7 inches out in Mount Carroll. So falling within that 2 to 3, 2 to 4 inch range we had. But again, a lot of that going to melt away over the next couple of days. And our weather watchers checking in with about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Ken in South Beloit at 30, 29 for Bob in Rockford. Mike north of Forston at 30. Same temperature for Ken in Belvedere. Wrapped up with about 1 inch of snowfall. Let's take you live outside right now. Downtown Rockford with our Mercial SkyTrack camera this evening. You can see the roadway still slushy out there. So it is going to take some time if you have to go out. Just be careful now that the heavier snow has kind of come to an end. What we're seeing, the trucks being able to get out and kind of clear things out of the roadways. Temperature wise, those numbers, we're going to have to watch these numbers though as we go through this evening, because in a few spots we're already down below freezing, and that could cause some things to ice up a bit as we go through the night. So 29 degrees for our overnight low. It is still going to be rather windy out there, but later tonight we'll see those winds begin to ease as that low pressure system actually moves closer to us. Now, mixing in with some of the snow flurries, we will have that potential for freezing drizzle. That'll take us through about midnight tonight. After that, some fog settling in with that lighter wind. We'll keep with a mostly cloudy sky during the day tomorrow. Might actually feel a little bit more on the damp side, but our next storm system quickly moving in. This one again passing to the south might actually bring us a little more rain than snowfall here late Wednesday and then into Thursday. So 42 degrees for tomorrow. We're dry for the first half of our St. Patrick's Day, 48, but then we've got some rain and again, guys, more wind coming in. But look at this. This is something to be excited about. Temperatures in the 60s by the end of the week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
And the last few days were a lot of fun watching the Fighting Illini in the Big Ten tournament, and that just might be the beginning. This team certainly has the makings of a championship team. You'd like some of their key guys to have more experience, and no one on the team has played in the NCAA tournament before. The Illini haven't made it into the tournament since 2013. But the talent is there, the depth is there, the athleticism is there, and most of all, the heart and competitive fire is there. An added bonus is the Illini don't have to travel far, just the short trip to Indianapolis. The Midwest region that they're in doesn't look very intimidating. Number 3 seed West Virginia plays well against the great teams. The Mountaineers took Baylor to overtime before losing, and they came within 5 points of beating Gonzaga. But West Virginia could just as easily get upset in the opening rounds. Number 2 seed Houston's very athletic, but Houston's 23-3 record is misleading because of Houston's soft schedule. So I like the Illini's chances of reaching the Final Four. Then they could get another matchup against the Buckeyes or a matchup with number 1 seed Baylor, and I think everyone would like to see that for the Illini to get a little revenge after losing by 13 to Baylor early in December. Well, if you're a Packers fan, you got to love the decision by the Pack to re-sign Aaron Jones. You need great players to win Super Bowls. You can't let those guys get away in free agency. Jones has proven the last 2 years to be a great player. Back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. 2 years ago, he led the NFL in touchdowns. His value comes in his ability to do everything well. Run, catch, and block. And at his age, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body, so his production isn't likely to decline anytime soon. Plus, this signing is likely to make Aaron Rodgers very happy. The downside to giving Jones $48 million over 4 years is the Packers might not be able to re-sign center Corey Linsley. But the Packers have a knack of finding good offensive linemen. That's my take. We'll be right back.
The heavy snow for us has ended, but there are still going to be some lighter snow showers, some sleet, snow pellets, and even some freezing drizzle for the next few hours. Our first warn interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Temperatures tonight staying below freezing, so even though we clear off some of that slush from the snow earlier today, still could be some slip spots into tomorrow morning. 42, feeling a little damp underneath that mostly cloudy sky. Another system moves in, brings a lot of wind and more rain Wednesday into Thursday.
All right, thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.